Hi, this is Danny. Welcome to lesson 5 in how to play the saxophone for beginners. 2 minutes, man. All right? Now, before we actually pick the saxophone up, there's something that we need to look at, which is the music theory behind an octave. Because in lesson 5, we're going to break into the second octave. So in the shot now, we currently have one octave on a piano, and we use the piano because it's far more visual. It makes it a lot more easier than to talk about it on the saxophone. So what you see is 2 black keys, and then then 3 black keys. I can't line my fingers up. Then it happens again. 2, 3, 2, 3. Because what's happening is this series of notes from the left hand side of 2 to the next time we get to the left hand side of 2 just repeats over and over again. The note that is left of 2 black keys on a piano is C. We pass through the rest of the notes until we get to the left of 2 keys again, and this note's called C. And it continues in that manner. That's a C, that's a C. The difference is pitch, how high or low these different notes are. So this is a lower C than this C. And because this C is an octave higher than, is the next one in the sequence after this one, it's an octave higher. We refer to it as 1 octave higher. So on the back of your saxophone, you have your left thumb rest, your left thumb rest. And here, on most saxes, it's black, you have a key, which is called the octave key. The octave key does exactly what you would expect. If you play a G, and then you press the octave key, it sends that note an octave higher. If you remember on the piano, the next time that note happens. So it goes 1 octave higher. If you play an A, then press the octave key, you get the A that's higher. This sax is a mess. When I was first learning how to play clarinet, notes that didn't use the octave key into notes that do use the octave key were referred to as passing over. It's still not right. What am I talking about? On the saxophone, we have what is referred to as the break. The break is when, if you imagine your left hand, your C bag hand, when you go G, A, B, C, the next note is D, which you remember from Fed in your right hand. It's when Fed has an octave key and jumps up the octave. It's 1 note higher than C. 2 semitones high, but don't worry about that now. I'm making it hard. C, low D with the octave key. That point is referred to as the break. Now, I'm not entirely sure, in fact, I am sure, this isn't why it's called the break, but one of the things about the break is, that you could remember it as, is it is the one thing that might break your will with wanting to learn to play the saxophone. Because moving into that second octave and passing over that point of not having an octave key, then suddenly having the octave key, will break your will. It is a nightmare and can be really tough to get past. I've had students where they've felt like this is too much. We've got there in the end, but it honestly can be quite upsetting. So if you're one of those people that finds this tough, just stay with it, right? Honestly, I promise you, it gets better. The problem with moving to the D with the octave key is the snap. You have to get, let's say for example you're playing a C. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers that need to go down to achieve that octave D. Not to mention that you need to get your thumb to roll onto that octave key. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers that all need to go bang at the same time. They all need to react to a D, bump, in the same way as D on a piano. They need to act together. First, I'm going to demonstrate to you how this can sound coming down over. So I'm going to play a D with an octave key, and I'm not going to release my fingers in one movement, bang, like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let the right hand come off slightly quicker than the left to illustrate one of the problems that happens with moving between a D with the octave key to the C without. And what happens is, because I'm taking these fingers off quicker than I am in the left, you get a slide up the scale then a bounce down to the C. Slide up and a bounce. Now, because I'm over exaggerating it, you're hearing a little bit of that scale. If I do it the ways that I've heard it over the years with private students, it's more of a squeak that you get. Like a... Because of the way that you're releasing your fingers, you're actually getting an octave higher C. You're not getting the C that you want, you're playing a C an octave higher than it. And it sounds like a squeak because it's so high pitched. And C to D ascending, so going up over. So I'll start with my C and snap to the D with the octave key on the back. The same thing's true. You might find that you go down the scale, then it pops up to a D. Either way, whether you're descending or ascending, what the problem is that this isn't happening in one. It's very tough to train that to happen. Now we're starting to move into the second octave, we're actually starting to become quite good at playing this saxophone. So we need to start talking about playing it in a slightly more professional manner. What you may find when you were playing bag is that when you played B, you did this and your hand looked like this. When you played A, that finger has to travel all that way to get to the A. When you played G, had to do that. And when you go back up over, you open your hand again. So you can see your palm. There's your palm giving it big waves to everyone, right, as you're playing. What you want is, that's as far as you want to come off. My fingers are actually still in contact with the keys when I take them off. So when I play B, my fingers there ready for an A. My fingers there ready for a G. It's right on there, all right? So you're not getting this huge travel. If you wanted to pick up your dexterity or the speed that you move your fingers, there's no way you're going to achieve that with these flappy Kermit fingers? He doesn't even play the sax. With this flappy Kermit fingers, you've just got to make sure they're nice and tight. Now, that isn't a great deal of content for lesson 5, but that's because this is tough, all right? Honestly, this is tough. If you do it and it just happens, don't think that you've got it wrong if it wasn't tough. If you've got it and it just came to you, that's great, all right? Don't be thinking, well, he said it would be tough. If it isn't tough and it just happens for you, then embrace it, move on, you win, right? But if you do find it tough, what I'm saying to you is be patient with yourself, it'll come with time. So for anybody that's been watching this series of lessons, you'll know that I'm still yet to break 200 views on any one of them. However, having said that, some of the feedback that I have had via Facebook and Instagram has been fantastic. So I'm talking to Ant in Essex. Thanks a lot for your message. And it means a lot to me that people are going to try and learn the saxophone with my guidance. And Annie as well, good luck with your saxophone playing. Please subscribe to this channel. I know it's cheesy and a bit Disney, but it does mean a lot to me that people take something from it. If you don't, you don't, and that doesn't matter. But yeah, please support my channel by subscribing. Thanks a lot, and I'll see you in lesson 6.